Donald Trump has shown time and again that very little is sacred to him. And unfortunately, this is no surprise. He has dismantled the East Wing, consistently turned the presidency into a spectacle, embarrassed the nation on the world stage, and profited from his position. Yet even knowing this, I was still taken aback today when he openly insulted veterans on Veterans Day. We'll break down the shocking speech he gave shortly. But first, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, it really helps us continue our work. Before diving into Trump's disgraceful remarks, I want to share something uplifting, especially for veterans, about how Barack Obama honored our service members.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with the 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people.
Honestly, can we just have him back? At this point, I'm exhausted from the constant embarrassment we face every single day. Sure, we can debate his criminality and corruption endlessly, and I do because it matters. But sometimes it's important to step back and recognize that he has fundamentally corrupted the image of this country. Donald Trump takes pride in humiliating us daily, and that's exactly what he wants. To make us feel defeated and disengaged. He wants us to believe that our politics cannot rise above this, that this is all our country can ever be. He has undermined institutions, destroyed history, and eroded trust. But I refuse to accept that. I still believe we need a vision that inspires us, that shows we care about this nation, which is the exact opposite of Trump's approach. And today, he made that very clear.
Dear God, he said, we ask only this, that if we die, we must die, and we as men would die without complaining, without pleading, and safe in the feeling that we have done our best for what we believed was right. We must do what is right. Colonel Wolverton, too, died for us so bravely in battle. Today we remember.
People are literally going to die because of Donald Trump. 50,000 Americans who lost their health care unnecessarily. And yet, somehow there's this idea that someone could just die quietly without complaining. Maybe even the person giving the speech? I never said that, of course. But it's worth noting that this was supposed to be a speech honoring veterans, and instead he talked about death before moving on to insults and other shocking remarks.
Under the Trump administration, we're restoring the pride and the winning spirit of the United States military. That's why we have officially renamed the Department of Defense back to the original name, Department of War. And remember, we won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything in between, we won everything that came before, and then we brilliantly decided to change the name of this great thing that we all created together, and we became politically correct. We don't like being politically correct, so we're not going to be politically correct anymore. From now on, when we fight a war, we only fight for one reason: to win. We fight to win. That under my leadership we're...
Clap it up. Really impressive, Don. You honored our veterans by changing a few names? It's baffling. It's just absurd. Every single day it's something pointless like this. Honestly, it's embarrassing. But it also reveals what Donald Trump actually values and what he doesn't. Meaningful, practical policy that could genuinely improve the lives of service members, he has no interest in it and likely doesn't understand it. Instead of tackling real issues, all he offers is empty gestures. Look, we changed a name. Aren't I strong and tough? Don't you love it? What our veterans actually want and deserve is respect and dignity when they return from serving. Under this administration, Trump has done the opposite, and yet he brags about it.
Director Russ, vote. Director, thank you. What a good job he's doing. Cutting, but fairly cutting. Director.
He is literally insulting them to their faces. Cuts to the VA, cuts to benefits to keep our veterans living in dignity, because we don't even do the bare minimum in this country for those who have served, and he's praising Russ VA on a day in which we're honoring veterans. Donald Trump is honoring the guy who has made their lives harder in so many ways. I just think we should run through a couple of ways that Russ VA has hurt veterans by proposing cuts to veterans programs, including mean testing and narrowing eligibility for disability compensation, which critics argued will harm veterans and their families. These proposals stem from a broader conservative agenda advocated by VA to cut government spending and reduce the federal workforce, which disproportionately harms veterans. During a recent government shutdown, the administration under VA's direction has paused funding for certain programs and initiated layoffs. Veteran Disability Compensation VA has proposed cutting disability compensation for veterans by implementing means testing, as I said, and budget proposals. He's been involved in the budget proposals, such as the one for the Center for Renewing America, that aim to reduce spending and overhaul the federal workforce, which critics say will impact government services, including those for veterans. This is the person Donald Trump is praising, the same one trying to limit disability eligibility. That's who Trump is applauding on Veterans Day. The same individual who has disproportionately fired veterans from federal positions and who has forced those dealing with PTSD to justify their mental health needs at work. At the start of this administration, veterans working in government roles, even those working from home, had to explain the trauma they endured while serving just to justify staying home or requesting accommodations. Meanwhile, their health care was being slashed and veteran suicide hotlines were being cut. And yet, this is the person Donald Trump is celebrating today, all while making his usual statements.
We're also confronting the challenge of veterans' homelessness, and earlier this year I signed an order establishing the National Center for Warrior Independence to house up to 6,000 veterans in need, and we will not stop until we have ended the tragedy of homeless veterans once and for all. I'd see in New York where people that came into our country illegally, would be put up in hotels, and veterans would be sitting on the sidewalk outside of that hotel where these other people are put in. And many of the people that came in were put in from prisons. They were murderers. They were drug dealers. They were people that we didn't want in our country. They were staying in hotels, luxury hotels, and our veterans were sitting on the sidewalks watching them go in. I said, that's never going to happen under this administration.
Fixing homelessness. His solution was proposing a 50-year mortgage. Trump suggested, wouldn't it help if your monthly mortgage was maybe $100 less, but over the extra 20 years, you end up paying $500,000 more in interest? Essentially, he wants people to pay double the value of their home over 50 years just to save a small amount each month. That's the so-called genius of Trump's policy thinking. And the same person praising the official who has harmed veterans more than almost anyone else in government goes on to say, we're doing such a great job for veterans. We love them because I renamed a building. Isn't that wonderful? It's insulting. plain and simple. He is openly disrespecting veterans, cares only about himself, and made that crystal clear.
And also to many other very distinguished guests. We have an amazing group of people. I'd like to name every one of you, but I think a lot of people would be upset. It's a little cold. The pages of American history are filled with the tales of titans, icons, innovators, and trailblazers who built this country into the greatest, most ambitious, and most prosperous nation the world has ever seen. And we brought it to new levels. I'll tell you, we were going in a direction for a period of time, but we've never been hotter than we are right now. This is the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Of course he's attacking Biden. What else would Donald Trump be doing? Today it's all about whining that he's so cold and blaming Joe Biden for it. And he didn't stop there. He even went on to criticize our allies abroad.
You know, I was recently at an event and I saw France was celebrating Victory Day, but we didn't. And I saw France was celebrating another Victory Day for World War II. And other countries were celebrating. They were all celebrating. We're the one that won the wars. And I said, from now on, we're going to say Victory Day for World War I and World War II. And we could do for plenty of other wars, but we'll start with those two. Maybe someday somebody else will add a couple of more because we won a lot of good ones. But when I see other...
Donald, maybe consider that the men and women who have served this country, standing shoulder to shoulder with our allies in combat, might take issue with the way you mock and attack those same allies. They don't want the people they fought alongside called losers. Honestly, I don't even know what to make of him anymore. That's why I wanted to start with that clip of Barack Obama. Don't we miss real leadership today? Someone who actually showed that kind of leadership was Gavin Newsom.
Today we honor those who answer the call to serve, men and women whose courage has shaped every generation that has followed. Many of us have loved someone who served. For me, that includes my great uncles and Grandpa Jack.
Military service demands more than just time. It demands commitment and sacrifice from the whole family, their whole life. I saw that firsthand with my grandfather, a prisoner of war who fought in World War II and never really left the battlefield behind, carrying scars that weren't always visible and leaving us with questions that weren't always easy to answer.
We can never repay our veterans completely, but we can meet their service with our own. We have both the duty and the privilege to serve them with the same commitment that they served us.
And here in California, we honor our veterans not only in words, but through action, making housing and healthcare more accessible and affordable, helping our veterans find jobs and continuing education, and above all, making sure they aren't alone.
Because honoring service means standing by those who gave it.
A nation shows its character not in what it says about its veterans, but what it does for them, and every hand extended and every door kept open.
So to our veterans and to every family who has loved and stood behind them, we thank you.
For your courage, your strength are the foundation of our democracy, and your legacy endures in every act of kindness, every right protected, and every promise we keep.
Imagine if we could have had that kind of message today. Someone who genuinely honored our veterans instead of talking about magnets, Joe Biden, or some other nonsense. We could have had a normal, respectful country. Honestly, I don't even know where to end, except to say I'm furious, but we'll keep calling him out. If you want to support that, hit the subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stayed until the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep fighting. Don't let them silence you. Until next time, I will see you soon.